Oh boy. Let's talk about the Mountain Alek Manoah and a bunch of Week 10 sleepers. We'll do it next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Friday, May 28th. I am Frank Sample, joined by Scott White, and Alec Manoah was amazing in his debut at Yankee Stadium. 6 shutout with 2 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Scott, what did you see from Manoah? What does his roster rate need to be? 74% roster. Does that need to be 100%?
So you're calling him the Mountain, right?
The Mountain.
I think all the prospect hounds are pretty excited that they got him ahead of time because there's going to be a rush for him. It sounds like there already has been now, but even more of a rush because this first start was pretty amazing for Alec Manoah. Only 2 hits allowed. 68% of his pitches were strikes, which is very impressive anytime, but particularly for a major league debut. He threw 4 pitches, legitimately 4 pitches. You don't see that a lot from a pitcher coming out of the minors. 2 different variants on the fastball, the 4-seamer and 2-seamer, but still, the one he featured the least was still 15%. So diverse arsenal, a deep arsenal, really good spin rate on the fastball. All of his pitches showed good movement. And he was this dominant in spring training. He was this dominant at AAA. It just looks like he's ready to take off here. I don't know how long the innings will last, but that's a different topic for a different day.
Alec Manoah, he looked amazing, and if he's available in your leagues with Fab, you're going to want to be really aggressive with him. 12 teams or shallower, somewhere in the 20 to 25% range. If you play in a 15-team league or deeper, you're going to have to spend some big money, 30, 35% of your Fab budget for Alec Manoah this weekend. Scott, Dylan Cease, one of your favorites. It was awesome. Again, up against the Orioles, 10 strikeouts over 6 innings of 1-run ball. The ascension, the man just keeps climbing. Dylan Cease.
Well, it was theoretically awesome before, right? Because he had a couple of 20 swinging strikeout efforts recently where the overall result wasn't that great, but 20 swinging strikes. I mean, you don't see that often except from the very best pitchers in baseball. So to see him do that with that kind of consistency, and we've seen the spin rate on his pitches go way up in recent starts to the point now that his fastball and his slider, they're like the spinningest in all of baseball. So just on a skill level, he was showing elite potential. And this start against the Orioles, 29 swinging strikes is what he had. I don't know if that's the single game season high for any pitcher, 29. There's not an easy way to search that, but I just compared it to DeGrom, who of course has the best swinging strike rate in baseball. And DeGrom's season high is 29. He's just matched it against the Orioles. And he has 2 starts coming up next week against Cleveland and Detroit. So there may be no looking back after those next 2 starts.
Very, very tasty matchups there for Dylan Cease. The last name I wanted to bring up before we get to some sleepers, Scott, Lucas Sims. We've been waiting for one Reds relief pitcher to emerge as the closer. I don't know if Sims is that guy yet, but he did have a traditional save on Thursday. He's only 15% rostered.
Yeah, we've been waiting 6 weeks for the Reds to tip their hand at all. This is 2 consecutive starts for Sims. I think he had one earlier in the week. It was a 1-out save, kind of an unconventional situation. But then to see him come back with a conventional save, perfect inning. I mean, this is how you earn trust with your manager. And I think just by virtue of there being no other front runner, Lucas Sims is the front runner now. We'll see if it changes over the weekend, but Sims looks like the front runner.
All right, next week, it's already week 10. Where does the time go? Who are some 2-start pitchers that you're looking at, Scott, heading into next week?
Well, unfortunately, we can't pick up Dylan Cease, but there are some we can't. In really shallower leagues, there's a chance Rich Hill is still out there, even though he's coming off a career best start and this incredible 6-start stretch. He might be out there in shallower leagues. So take a look. You probably should be rostered anyway. Luis Garcia is only 50% rostered or so in CBS sports leagues. The 2 matchups aren't great, but he did just have his best start yet against the Dodgers, another not so great matchup. So, his ratios are looking good. It's worth a shot. Not great options this week. Those are the best 2. James Caprillion, he's looked good in 3 starts so far, but one of his 2 matchups this week at Colorado, so that makes it a little scary. Mike Minor, one of his 2 matchups is against the Pirates, and his whiffs have been up in recent starts, but still the overall numbers don't look great. One kind of interesting one, Merrill Kelly, 7 consecutive starts of 3 earned runs or fewer, and he's facing 2 bottom 5 offenses this week, at least in terms of OPS. So I don't have a lot of faith in Merrill Kelly, but he is on a good run, and he does have good matchups.
For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. If you enjoyed the pod, please leave a 5-star review on Apple. We'll be back again on Monday. Bye-bye.